Yeah, so we're all kind of suffering from COVID fatigue, and it's late October 2020, and we're tired. This is my little grandson getting his COVID test. Pretty scary. We're pretty scared too. Yeah, here we are having um, to deal with months and months of COVID, um, and from what I can hear across the nations, people are really, really bottoming out. They're feeling like that they the COVID fatigue has just been too much, that they're overwhelmed. And I guess maybe we could try to get back on track a little bit and see if we can find a way to move into right relations with this COVID thing that we're going to have to be with for yet a while longer, quite a while longer. So let's talk about how we can build a relationship uh, with something as um, as 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 difficult as COVID. It's like living with a monster. It's like living with beside something that could really it's really out to get you. Something that so you can see how your anxiety can build and build and build and build and build. So just how are we going to uh, find another way of being in relationship with with this thing that has no boundaries and it's just one, it'll go for your children, it'll go for your parents, or anybody it can get, so how do you live beside that? How do you protect yourself? How do you protect your community? How do you protect your family? How do you calm yourself down enough to be in relationship with it? And so I think the way to start is with an experiential, and finding a way to make a space for it. We always need to make a space for COVID, just to make a space so it could be over there a little bit. And just see, what does it look like over there where you see it there when you do make a space? What is it like? What does it look like over there? Just allow it to be. What is it? Is it like a cloud? Is it like a dust storm? Is it like a tornado? If it was a something, what would you be seeing over there? So you're going to build a space, look at COVID over there, see what it looks like. I know it's harmed a lot of people in my life. So from here today, it does look something like, for me, like a funneling tornado uh, that I have to hide from or protect people from. So never mind me. I'm just going to look at the tornado because it seems to twist and go wherever it wants over the whole planet. But one thing I do notice is if I'm not reactive to it and I'm respectful of it, although it winds every which way and goes everywhere, it's not everywhere. So that's the first thing I notice when I look at it and give it space. It's not everywhere. It's a confined tornado. Oh, so I'm dealing with a confined to tornado over there, and the twists and turns, and I can't tell which way it's going to go. And but it just makes it a lot easier for me knowing just that it's not everywhere. It's this confined crazy tornado. That's helpful, right? And so when I've got a good look at that and I see it over there and then the space is here, I can then look at myself and see, well, how am I? What am I in the face of that tornado? Oh, I think I'm many things, many things. I'm many, many ways with that tornado. And I did notice this kind of deep breathing, and I noticed an exhaustion and a weight. I feel like I'm weighted down, exhausted, because I have to keep my eye on this thing, so I have to be ever vigilant. Right? So I'm kind of like an owl. I feel like I'm an owl with my eyes looking every which way, and I do have to keep my eye on it. That's true. But then when I notice the rest of my body, um, I can be a little more relaxed as an owl. I can be more relaxed and still see it all because an owl's eyes seem to be able to go every which way. So I know what step to take next. Let's see if that's helpful a bit with this fatigue. Well, yeah, I feel like the fatigue is a little better. And then comes the big body of grief because that tornado has hurt so many things around me, right? So that's the grief. There's grief under the fatigue. So in my case, it might not be in yours. So you need to be able to kind of layer through this thing for you. And it's different for everyone and it's different for every community, but it's good to pay attention. It's good to pay attention. So with the grief, when I lean into the grief, it's quite huge because there's been a huge number of losses in my particular situation the last little while. And now all I want to do there is comfort myself, right? And that means leaning into the land. There's not much I can do. I mean, collectively, we're all dealing with a huge amount of grief the world over, right? So I'm just going to comfort myself. And that helps. It even helps with the fatigue. And the way I'm comforting myself in this moment is just by laying down in water. I notice every day I go down and get myself underwater. And I guess that's when I pay attention, that water is really a comfort for me. Water's always been a comfort. So it's like, yeah, this is the time to spend a lot of time outside if you can, if you're able to, in nature. Lean into the water, into the land, because we're in a deep state of intergenerational collective grief. Oh, and that brings me to earlier pandemics that our peoples have faced, and how the land has always been our comfort, and the universe and the ancestors. They've been through this many, many, many times. I don't know if this helps, but I hope you'll find a way to be in right relations with COVID, because if you take your eye off that tornado, it just seems to come after you. Better to face it head on in a respectful, good way, and know that it's not everywhere. It's not everywhere. COVID is not everywhere. It's just like buzzing around all over the place. And it's good to know it's not everywhere. COVID is not everywhere. And take good care of your families and your communities. Try to be in right relations. We're all in this together. It's very, very hard for all of us. Take care of that fatigue and that grief. Just try to turn into the land wherever possible and get comfort wherever you can. Much love to you all. Love you all. Bye for now.